What up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're doing a get ready with me. We're going to do a little chitty chat. We've got some questions I'm going to be answering. I'm going to go over some empty products that I'll give you some feedback on whether or not I'd repurchase them. And because we just hit the midpoint of the year, I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the goals that I had set at the beginning of the year with you and do a little check-in on how the progress is going there. So we are about to dive into that get ready with me. Just to give you a heads up, I have rosacea, so you're about to see a lot of redness in the skin. Just prepare yourself. Little jump scare notification. Let's go check it out. All right, now before we kick off the actual Q&A, I had some people asking me about my skincare routine, and I've kind of got down a system. I used to be the type that I'm obsessed with product sampling. So I used to be the type that I would just kind of mix and match, but now I'm starting to really hone in the things that I like. So I'm just going to share with you my morning routine and my night routine. So I have dry skin and I also have somewhat sensitive skin. It's not too bad, but in the morning, because I don't have any makeup on or anything like that, I do not use a cleanser, not even a gentle cleanser. I just rinse with water. And then there's two paths that I take. If I'm going to be wearing makeup that day, what I do is as soon as I get out of the shower, with it still a little bit damp, I add this vitamin C essence from Laneige. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. And then I just let that sit on my skin. This is like a toner. So I let that sink into my skin. And then once I've gotten dressed and it's dried down and everything like that, then I go in with, if I'm going to be wearing makeup that day, I will just use this triple repair moisturizing cream from La Roche-Posay. This is the Lip Car AP. I cannot recommend this enough. I think this is like bottle number 6 for me. You can use it both on hands and face. So I generally just hydrate everything all at the same time, or I should say body and face. You can use it for everything. The price is really good for the amount that you get. It lasts me a while, but it's just the perfect consistency. There's no fragrance to it. It doesn't irritate my skin in any way. It's super thick and hydrating, but it wears beautifully under makeup. So if I'm going to be wearing makeup, I just do those two things. If I'm going to be skipping makeup that day, I will do this Marula facial oil. This is from Trader Joe's. I think it's only like $6.99 at Trader Joe's. Drunk Elephant has an option that I used to absolutely love, but it's like $92. So once I found this, if you have a Trader Joe's near you or a loved one that can get you one from there, pick this up. It's awesome. This can be worn under makeup, and I have worn it under makeup, but it's just one of those things, like I don't want a bunch of stuff on my face when I'm wearing makeup. Now for my night routine, I use a micellar water, which I'll be sharing with you in the Empties portion of this. I first use a micellar water with a nice warm face cloth, and I just scrub all of the makeup off my face and do like a light exfoliation using that warm washcloth. And then I just recently got this, but I've been using it for about a week now, and it's probably one of my top favorite cleansers. This is the Paula's Choice Optimal Results Hydrating Cleanser. It's a silky lotion style, which is really funny because that is not my vibe. Normally, I really like the foaming cleansers, like those silky foaming ones. My favorite one is the Shiseido cleanser. But this one here, something about it, my face feels so hydrated and so smooth after I use this. It cleans it so well, but doesn't leave it feeling like stripped or dry or anything like that. This has really wowed me, and it takes a lot to wow me, and the price I think was really reasonable. I got it right on Amazon. I'll link everything down below if you're interested in any of it, and I'll also make a full list that's easy for you to search if you want to just go that route instead. Then, as soon as I get out of the shower, I've been using this multi-peptide eye serum from The Ordinary. I love this brand. They're super reasonably priced, so I just put a little bit right under my eyes, and it's beautiful. I also just recently got this, been using this about a week, blown away by this one, also from Amazon. This is from the brand Versed, and it's the Press Restart Gentle Retinol Serum. There is something about the texture on this that is what blows me away. I don't know how really to explain it, and I'm not a beauty guru. It's something between a serum and a lotion. It's very silky. It has a very unique texture to it, and my skin just soaks it up. So I've been absolutely loving this. I can't really speak to whether or not it solves the problems it says, because it says it helps with aging skin, dullness, and problem skin. I don't really have problem skin per se, but I can say that I really enjoy the texture of it. I don't know that I look 10 years younger or anything, but the price was really good. The texture is really good. There's not a really strong fragrance. It smells a little chemically, but nothing like that would turn me off from it. So overall, total win. And then the other thing that I've been using at night, once that dries down, I really let every step dry down, is I got this at Trader Joe's, $9.99 I want to say, or $8.99, night cream. This is so good. So if you have a loved one near Trader Joe's or you have one, just go pick both of these bad boys up. This one right here specifically, I feel like in the morning when I wake up, I just feel extra hydrated when I use this. So that has been my skincare routine. There's some nights that I don't do the full thing. Sometimes if I don't feel like going the whole route, I always wash the makeup off my face, but the marula oil is the one that is my non-negotiable. So if I'm just not feeling like doing anything at night, the marula oil is the one that I'll put on. And in the morning, my non-negotiable is the La Roche-Posay moisturizer. So this is like my ideal skincare routine, but there's also the express version for myself, which feature those two products. So hopefully that helps. So now we're going to go ahead and get into me doing my makeup and answering the questions. Because I'm probably going to forget to stop and say what I'm using, everything will be listed down below in the description box. So if you're curious what's going on my face, I will have that listed out for you. Everything that you see in this video too, these are products that I 100% recommend. As you can see, I have a lot of redness, and you're going to see exactly how that redness gets reduced with these products. So if you also have that as an issue, these products would be great for you as well. We have a Mickey Mouse mirror to make our dreams come true today. Okay, so the first question that I got was related to a challenge that I've been doing on the channel. So if you haven't tuned in a little while, or I'm new to you, I just happen to pop up in your feed, I've been doing a challenge since the beginning of May. And what it was is that I spent $1,000 at Costco, did a huge haul, refilled a lot of stuff, got some new snacks, things like that. And I got some really good questions about basically like how long I thought that $1,000 would last me. And I estimated about 6 weeks. We're actually approaching week 9 now, where we have not had to do a significant haul. What we've instead been doing is every single week spending $100 to $125 on milk, eggs, produce, and random little things. So it's been working out really great. And the question was, do I plan to do another huge haul like that where I spend $1,000 at Costco? The answer is probably later in the year. I would do another huge one like that where I kind of budget for myself to be able to go buck wild in Costco, because I love Costco so much. The next time I go to Costco, which should be sometime over the next couple weeks, I'll probably be spending around $500. That's going to be the budget. We're hoping not to exceed the budget, but I do pretty good with budgeting. But when I'm in Costco, Costco kind of tells me what I want, and they're like 50 minutes away. So sometimes if I'm like, you know what, it's worth taking from another area to make this happen, I do it. I give myself grace in that area. One thing I do want to mention about the one that I just put on my face, and it's dirty, we have no aesthetics here in case you're new. This is the Hey Honey Trick and Treat CC cream. The price is kind of high for what it is, like a CC cream, but the more that I use this, the more I love it. And I got it on sale. Ulta had it during one of those like 50% off beauty steals. So maybe just keep it in your cart, keep it on your register, and then if it goes on sale, pick it up. I think it's priced around $40, $42 maybe. Do I think it's worth $42? I mean, I would probably go like say maybe like 30 something dollars it would be worth. I don't know that it's worth the 42. I feel like you can find other things, but if you see it on sale, I think it's worth it. And next time it goes on sale, I might just grab 2 to last me a while. Just giving the honest rundown. But if you see it on sale, definitely pick it up. You can see it's a CC cream, but it really covered so much of my redness, but it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything. It feels very like serum-y. So I don't think that's a word, but that's fine. And then the part B of that question was, how do you create a grocery list for it? And basically we have a Google Keep that John and I both share. And every time we run out of something that we usually pick up at Costco, we will add it to that Google Keep. That way, when we get to Costco, we have a list of exactly what we need in terms of what we've run out of. It's very hard to pre-shop Costco as far as I'm concerned. That's one of the things that I think Sam's and BJ's has over Costco, is that you can pre-shop them a lot easier. But maybe that's part of Costco's strategy, because they want you to do what I do and be told once you get there, you know? All right, another question that I got that I forgot to include in this when I was sitting down was how I handle sinking funds for savings. If you're new to sinking funds, the idea behind it is it's a gradual savings for future expected expenses, a little at a time. Things like holidays, back to school, repairs on the car, home maintenance, all of that good stuff. I mentioned in a live video that I have a high yield savings account with Ally Bank, or is it Ally Bank, whatever, that I send my sinking funds to, and then I have an Excel spreadsheet that I keep track of the progress in. So I wanted to show how I set that up in case you wanted to do it as well. I also do cash envelopes in a safe for some of the smaller things and goals, but this is another option if you want a digital version. So I know people can get very creative with spreadsheets, but it just ain't me. So I just label my columns with sinking funds, the dollar amount goal, the amount I've saved, how much is left, a percentage progress, monthly amounts that need to be contributed, the start date of the sinking fund, and then a goal date if there is one. Then I create which sinking funds I want to set up. So if you're new to the concept, I'd strongly recommend just focusing on a few at first. So in the example here, I have an emergency fund, a Christmas fund, a birthdays fund, a car maintenance fund, and an annual fund. In this example, we're going to pretend we already have $1,000 in a savings account, and we are just now taking the time to assign it out to different categories and set goals for how we will continue contributing. So if we had that $1,000, I divided that up into the different funds. Then I ran some basic formulas to have it show me the amount of progress we already have towards the overall goal. Now I want to figure out if any of them have specific timelines I want to hit, or if they're just an ongoing fund as things occur. So something like an emergency fund would always be a top priority to me. So I'm going to give us a 2-month window for that. Something like Christmas has a tangible date, and I assigned it to be funded by the beginning of December, ideally, so there's no scrambling last minute. For an annual fund, that may be when your yearly dues come up for an HOA, property taxes, subscriptions, warehouse club memberships, any of those types of things. I just put New Year as the date in the example. For birthdays and car maintenance, those ones I just consider as ongoing, so I don't give it a tangible date. Then I took the amount we have left to save and I divided it by how many months remain until the goal date. So the emergency fund, for example, we need $200 and we have a 2-month goal. So we just need to plan for $100 a month in the budget to go there. After you've done that, you can make yourself a total bar to show how you're doing overall and see how all of those funds add up to one large sum. You can color those in if you want. You can even add additional columns that might help. I know some people like to have a starting amount column to keep a history of where it began. You can make that one if you wanted to and just hide the column if you just need to reference back at a later date. And as you start getting into sinking funds, you could start coming up with more ideas for expected expenses you want to prepare for. Some of the ones I do include a beauty one because I get my hair done every 6 to 8 weeks, so I know to plan for that. I have a Costco fund, a Disney fund, our Disney annual passes, and so on. It can be really fun and really rewarding to do this. We know a lot of what's on the horizon for us, so if we can be prepared for the things that we know about, it helps make the unexpected expenses that come up randomly not impact you as much. I hope this helps. All right, so somebody had asked me about my New Year's goals that I had set with you guys. So I'll link that video down below where we set some goals. In terms of my New Year's goals, surprisingly, I am doing really, really great with them. Some of the goals were to set up a homeschooling system, and we're not going to be homeschooling for probably, I don't know, like 6 months to a year from now, and it's going to be a very light step into it. But I did get an entire closet completely dedicated. I got I got myself like an accordion file for printouts. I downloaded a bunch of printouts from Teachers Pay Teachers, and I set some up in Canva for myself. I've already started the organization process for that, and that was like a huge load off my shoulders. And then I had a project list that I wanted to complete. So there was a bunch of closets that I wanted to get organized, and the goal was to just do it by the end of the year. And it was like a pantry, 2 closets, and I can't remember what else. I only have the primary closet that I have left to get done in that project list pretty much. and then the garage, but that's kind of more of John's project. So he's been just like chipping away at it a little bit. We've had a lot of issues with our truck. So that poor man has been dedicated to anytime he's home and not playing with the kids, he's out fixing our truck. And he has probably saved us thousands of dollars in labor at this point. So I love that guy. Somebody asked me what past hobbies I've enjoyed. And I feel like I'm always on the hunt for a good hobby. So if you guys have a good hobby to share with me, please let me know. I never stay dedicated to hobbies. Reading obviously is one of them, and that I've stayed dedicated to for several years now. But I've tried like coloring, I've tried crafting, I've tried scrapbooking. I have been scrapbooking this year, but what I did was I didn't go, okay, let's rewind. The problem with me and hobbies is that I tend to take something that should be enjoyable and I turn it into too much work for myself and I overcomplicate it, so then I just don't pick it up. So like scrapbooking, it's like I want it to be perfectly aesthetic, like Pinterest, and then it overwhelms me and I don't do it. So what I instead did was I got very basic scrapbooks on Amazon. Super basic. I'll put a picture up on the screen. And I literally just print them out in my own home printer on a collage 8x10 and then just plop all the pictures on there and then use some metallic pens to make like little decorations. But I just gave myself the permission to keep it simple and just document the memories. So that's something I've been doing this year. Then the reading is still happening. Coloring happens every so often when I'm like super stressed out and I just need like mind numbing exercise. Oh, and then I've been working out like crazy. So that's been like a hobby of mine and I've just been enjoying it. I don't know if people consider, Kate, what are you doing? I almost just put my eyeliner on before putting my eyeshadow. That would have been funny. I don't know if people consider working out a hobby, but it's been that I should talk about with the New Year's success is that my working out, my nutrition, I've been really proud of myself. I've kept it balanced, but this past month in June, I don't know what it was. I just tore up that Peloton. I have a Peloton treadmill. And I was on that 23 days in the month of June. 23 days out of 30 days. I burned over 10,000 calories on the Peloton treadmill alone, not including how much I have to run after my toddlers. You know what I mean? So I was really proud of that. It's felt so good. It's been more for my mental than anything. And in case anybody is sitting there like, how do you find the motivation? I'm just going to tell you something right now that I heard that it just stuck with me. Motivation is a lie for most of us. Or even if you go talk to actual athletes, a lot of times they'll tell you that motivation is a lie. There's no external thing that's going to come in and take over. So instead of sitting there waiting for motivation to happen, you just have to make it a habit. And then another thing that I was thinking about, it struck me when I was working out one night, is that consistency is better than intensity. Because again, when I was talking about how I tend to overcomplicate things, I go into stuff wanting to give it my best effort. That's how I'm built. And I'm not mad at myself for that because it is a good thing to want to give your best. But sometimes you stop yourself from doing 50% and end up doing 0% because you were striving for 100% when you could have been doing 50%, if that makes sense. So I found that I just have to show up. Just show up. Be the best version of yourself. Push yourself once you're in it. The first 10 minutes, they always feel like it's impossible and you're not going to be able to get past that 10 minutes. But once you hit that 10-minute wall, you break through it. And then the rest of the workout, it can be enjoyable. In the month of June, I started actually focusing on finding workouts that brought me joy. I mean, they're still hard. They're still challenging. But I stopped worrying about like what I think I should be doing versus what would make me stay in the workout. And I can't tell you guys how amazing it's been. Peloton, just to let you know, even if you don't have Peloton equipment, you can still download the Peloton app and you can watch it on like an iPad, on your phone. I have a smart TV I have it hooked up on. We have the Peloton app on like everything. I've got it on the iPad. I've got it on my phone. I've got it on all of the TVs in this house. Then we have the treadmill. They are phenomenal. I don't get any money for this, but I will leave a referral down below. None. I get $0. We don't get anything for it, but it gives you a 60-day guest pass. So if you want to try out the app, even if you don't have the equipment, download it on your phone, set it up on a treadmill that's collecting dust in the garage or whatever. I'm telling you guys, the music is so good. The instructors are phenomenal. I love the instructors. And they have, outside of just treadmill workouts and spinning, which I think is what most people register when they think of Peloton, they have shadow boxing, they've got yoga, they've got Pilates, they've got outdoor walks. So if you want to put your AirPods in, go for a walk around your neighborhood, they've got that. They have strength workouts. They've got meditation. They've got so much. It's wild. Dance, cardio, HIIT workouts, aerobic style. Like if you, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, those style workouts. I just can't recommend them enough. So that's been absolutely phenomenal for me. My favorite instructor right now is Rebecca Kennedy. So if you're looking for someone to start with, she reminds me of like an 80s, 90s style aerobics instructor, but not over the top bubbly. She's very bubbly. She's very energetic, but she's got kind of like a big sister vibe to her. That's the best way I could describe it. And she actually is from like the area that I'm from. And I have a couple people that knew her in real life, which I think is really cool. I think I answered both of those questions. I got 2 questions for the areas that I've lived in before. So we've lived in 6 states. Grew up in Massachusetts. Then when I was 23 years old, we moved to Hawaii. We lived on Oahu. We lived on the North Shore of Oahu for 5 years, and then the west side of Oahu for 7 years. Oh, and I forgot. When I say we, it's my husband and I, when we were, I think, 19, I want to say, 18, 19, we moved to New Jersey for a short period of time. So we had lived in New Jersey. We also lived in New Hampshire for a very short period of time. So Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, then moved to Hawaii. Then we ended up moving to Virginia in 2021. And then we moved to Florida in 2023. So I got asked about whether or not I would ever move back to the Northeast, like to New England, and then if I would ever move back to Hawaii. And the answer for New England is probably most likely 90% no. I don't think that I could ever do New England winters again. I'm just not built for it. I just can't with the slushy, gross, gray life. As much as I love New England and I'm proud to be from there, I don't think I could handle it. Just not built for it. The part B to the question was, what do you miss most about New England besides family? And I would have to say, it's gonna sound so silly, but I'd have to say the food. There's like thunder going off crazy right now. I'd have to say probably the food, but also summers in New England and fall in New England, like late summer, early fall, is just such a vibe. I just kind of miss the New England aesthetic, you know, like the hydrangeas and the, what are those shutters called? The ones that are like, I can't think right now, but Cape Cod style houses, like I just miss all that. I grew up in Southeast Mass, so it's very like marina vibes, you know, coastal style, and I miss the vibe there. And then the Hawaii question, besides asking if I'd move back, which the answer is 100% yes, and that is the goal, to eventually get back there. If I have any recommendations for places to go, things to see, foods to eat. And here's my recommendation is stay away from Waikiki, okay? That's my number 1 recommendation. Waikiki is the famous area. That's where when you see people going and posting online, they tend to stay in Waikiki. And when I lived there, we avoided it at all costs. It's just like New York City shoved onto a beach, and it's just not my vibe. Some people love Waikiki, and if you're the type who really loves the hustle and bustle, maybe that's your vibe and you should not listen to me. But if you want to experience like actual Hawaii, I would 100% recommend the North Shore, but I would say just expect that to be pretty crowded as well. But the west side of the island, I think, is the part that not a lot of people really go to, and it's just beautiful. And I will say though, be respectful and learn about the culture before you visit Hawaii. That's the number 1, because if you're going to be there, please take some time to learn about the history and just be respectful of the people that live there, because they're sharing truly one of the most beautiful, magical places with you when you visit the island. So please be respectful when you do. When it comes to food, that is like, again, one of the top things I miss. The sushi is just unmatched. So if you like sushi, I didn't even actually like sushi when I moved to Hawaii, but it converted me because it's just so good. So if you like sushi, or even if you don't, if you want to try it for the first time, try it out in Hawaii, because man, poke bowls too. Japanese barbecue is a favorite of mine, and then Hawaiian food is so, so good. My favorite food probably in the entire world. Anytime someone's selling it for a fundraiser or anything, I will pick it up. So if you happen to be like a Disney fan and you're staying at Aulani, you're only about 5-10 minutes from Kapolei. It's like, Aulani is technically in Kapolei, and there's like a shopping center that's right outside of Aulani, and you can get sushi at either Kazoku Sushi or Sushi Bay. Those were my 2 favorite places to get it. And then on the North Shore, I really love Haleiwa Joe's. That's one of our family favorite restaurants. My mom still goes there constantly. And I just don't know what else has closed, because I've been there, because when we left, it was around the pandemic time, so people were opening and closing, but those are the ones that I can think of off of the top of my head. But if you ever wanted more Oahu recommendations, please feel free to reach out to me. And then I have family that lives on the Big Island, so if you need Big Island recommendations, I can definitely help you out with that as well. I also had 2 people ask me if I use a specific planner when it comes to meal planning, or if I just kind of wing it. I got that question twice. I do not use any specific type of meal planner, except sometimes I actually make myself meal planners in Canva, and then I'll print them out and just do it super fast. But I don't have like a dedicated meal planner. Sometimes because of the videos, I'll know like, hey, I just thought of this theme for a video. So I'll know, hey, on Tuesday night, I need to cook this for that video. Wednesday night, I need to cook this one. And Thursday night, I need to cook this one. That way on Friday, I can edit it for Sunday, if that makes sense. So sometimes I'll have more of a formal list down. But other than that, what I usually do is just slap it on a very simple meal planner. And I actually designed these meal planners, and I will link them down below if you want to download them. I set up a store so you can actually purchase them. And everybody who's been asking about me doing a cookbook, this is kind of my path to try and get myself to put a cookbook up. So get excited for that. But for now, I'll link the meal planners. I put it down, but I use it as a guideline. So if like on Tuesday night, I wrote down stuffed shells, and on Wednesday, I wrote like Mexican skillet, I will probably have the items on hand that if on Tuesday I'm feeling to go with the Mexican skillet instead, I can just switch it real quick. You know what I'm saying? So I use it as a guideline, then more as official organization. Another question I got was, do you ever read cozy mysteries? And yes, I do. I haven't dived into them completely, but one of my favorite books ever is actually a cozy mystery, and it's Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for, and I'm not going to say the word because I don't know if that'll flag me, by Jessie Q. Sutanto. Hopefully I'm saying her name correctly. Absolutely adorable. Set in Chinatown in San Fran. It's a lady with a tea shop, and she's like a meddling auntie, and she has a case that falls into her lap. She doesn't think the police are doing good by it, so she steps in. It's a vibe. And I'm actually reading the sequel right now. It just came through on my Libby, so I'm pumped. I'm already like 30% into it, and it is another vibe. So absolutely love that, and I would love to dive into more cozy mysteries. So if you have a favorite, please leave it down below. The next one was, have you ever made something that John plain hated? I wouldn't say hated. There's been some that he's been like, not for me, but we usually have leftovers in the fridge. So if that happens and he doesn't like something, he'll just move on to leftovers or make himself a sandwich. However, he used to be a massively picky eater, so he wouldn't even try things sometimes. Probably 10 plus years ago, he would have just not tried it if it looked like something he wouldn't want. Now it's more like he'll at least try it, and then he'll be like, no, this is just not my vibe, and then kind of moves on. Another question I got was, with how busy I am, how on earth do I read so many books? And the answer is that I prioritize reading at night. I was also previously reading quite a bit when the kids were like independently playing. I would be able to kind of sit on the couch to supervise them and let them independently play, but they were at a stage where I really couldn't leave the room yet because they were wibbly wobbly on their feet. Now that they have more confidence and more independence, I'm able to get more actual tasks done during the day. So I've pulled back on reading a little bit and been able to up my productivity during the day, which has left me the ability to work out at night. So I've actually kind of scaled back reading a little bit. The other thing to know about me, though, if you ever see a number of books that I'm reading and you're like wowed by it, 2 things to know is I have that memory that makes people read super fast. I don't know. I have a good memory and I'm forgetting what it's called. So there you go. This seems ironic. Eidetic memory, I want to say it's called, where I can like speed read things. I'm not like a Spencer Reed level, but I can speed read. And I also read books that are only around 300, 350 pages, and they're not super involved books. That's kind of how I'm reading so much. I'm not reading like War and Peace 18 times in a month. You know what I'm saying? A question that I got was that one time when I was reviewing a Trader Joe's video, I had mentioned that I was Portuguese because there was some malasadish in there. And they asked if I have any specific Portuguese cuisine that is my favorite. And my answer is that malasadish is definitely my favorite. I have attempted to make it at home, but I'm not that great at it. So it's something I would love to become an expert at, because then I can like pass it down to my kids, and I think that would be a vibe. And then I love Portuguese kale soup. And what's great about Portuguese kale soup is you can really kind of throw whatever you want in there. But the hard part is that linguiça is one of the things that I love the most, and they don't sell linguiça in a lot of the areas that I've lived outside of New England. So sometimes I have to kind of hunt that down. If not, I'll just use like a chorizo in the soup, but those are my favorite Portuguese things for sure. Next question I got was, what are my top 3 meals or desserts? Let me do desserts first. Number 1, like ice cream, is that considered a dessert? Because overall, I just love ice cream. So like ice cream or gelato is probably like, if I'm going to pick a dessert and that's an option, I'm going to go for it. I also love chocolate, especially the Ina Gardens Betty cake or whatever it's called. That recipe, I've made it on this channel before. The chocolate frosting in that recipe, it has a little bit of espresso in it, which makes the chocolate like pop, and it's a super creamy chocolate. So that's like one of my favorite desserts ever. Like if I were to request someone to make me a cake, I would request that. And then my third is one that I kind of made up. I call it an apple crumbler. It's kind of like an apple crumble meets an apple cobbler. I call it a crumbler, and it's just basically like deliciousness, apple vibes. I also love a good apple pie. Like I would never turn that down. I'm born in October. Okay, I'm from the land of fall. You guys know I would love an apple dessert. For foods, sushi is probably number 1, or a poke bowl. That's like my top requested meal. Number 2 would probably be chicken parm with fettuccine Alfredo. I would prefer chicken parm to have Alfredo on it over marinara. So that's like, and then number 3 for me would be like a salmon bowl. I love a good salmon bowl, salmon, rice, some stir-fried vegetables. I just made a salmon yesterday with a brown sugar miso sauce glaze thing on it. And that's going to be my go-to from now on. So those are probably my top 3 meals and desserts. The next one I love, is being a stay-at-home mom. How often do you get out of the house, and how often do you get away from parenting? And this is kind of a pathetic answer, but I barely leave the house. For a stay-at-home mom, I sure stay at home. We are actually a single vehicle family. We haven't had a car payment since 2017, and I just don't see a need for my once in a while grocery trips to take on the additional expenses that come with having a second vehicle, even if we paid cash for it. So we made the decision, with the kids being the stage that they're in, to just have a single vehicle. I know that like with the norm, the way it is of having 2 cars, you're probably sitting there like, Kate, you are wild. But if you actually think about how much you need a second vehicle, if you don't work outside the home, it might shock you. And when you're in a stage where kids don't have practice to get to, or music, or gymnastics, or school, or any of that, you would be surprised. Like I would literally be buying a car just to give me the ability to run to TJ Maxx sometimes and spend more money. It's not for me. So for now, we're just have the 1 car. So we pretty much only leave when we're going to go do a curbside pickup at like BJ's or Target for diapers, you know, and it's fine. It's honestly fine. We have a beautiful covered lanai. I have a beautiful home. We have our living room set up kind of like a mini children's museum. So the kids have a lot of interactive play. Our lanai is set up kind of like a water area for them, so we get them outside to play in that. And how often do I get away from parenting? Another kind of pathetic response, but my entire support system does not live in our state. So we don't have anybody to assist with childcare here, which honestly has been okay. I mean, would I prefer them to have the bonds and relationships? Yes, but we've been also making it work. John is incredibly supportive, so it helps me not feel the burnout that I know a lot of parents do, because he really does make sure that he's monitoring my mental health, which I appreciate, because some days it's so stressful that you can't manage your own mental health, so you need somebody else to help you out. I maybe get like once every 2 or 3 months I'll go out with one of my friends and we call it like Mom's Gone Wild, and we'll go to like Costco, TJ Maxx, go run some errands, maybe grab like a dinner or something. So I had 17 years with John prior to having any children, so I got to really experience a lot in life. And I'm not saying my path is the better one in any way, but one of the pros is that I kind of am settled into a different mode now, so I don't feel that need to get out as often because I'm a homebody. So it just kind of works out. That was a chaotic answer, I'm sorry, but I just don't want anybody to feel like I'm trying to like say that my way is the only way to do it. It just happens to be working for us, but I know it's like a little unconventional the way we do things. All right, and then I've gotten this question a couple of times whenever I do my book wrap-up videos, and honestly, it is such a compliment to me because it's something that I would have, I don't know, I just wouldn't think people would think of. But I got asked if I'm a writer and a reader, and the answer is I am not at all a writer. I would love to write, and I have a bunch of ideas in my head for books. But one of my problems is, again, I overcomplicate things, and I just don't have the ability to take on something as intense as writing a book. I wouldn't have the ability to give it the attention it deserves, let's be real. So I wish I was a writer, but no, I am not. And the last one was, can you tell us about any RV trips or plans that you have coming up? Do you have any plans to go see any national parks? So we have an RV, in case you didn't know. We have a travel trailer, and we use it primarily right now to just go to Disney pretty much like every other month. We're taking the summer off because Disney is too hot for us in the summer. We want to do a lot of exploring for small towns. Like, that's my number one goal, is to try and find really cool small towns that are within a reasonable driving distance from us and try and go hit them up and really like explore the area and things like that. We definitely want to hit up national parks. We are both obsessed with national parks. Our biggest like bucket list right now, which we're hoping to make happen either probably not next year, but maybe the following year, is we want to drive up through Michigan and do like a late summer vibe in Michigan, go all the way up to Maine and hit up Acadia, and then come down and like follow fall. In order to pull that off, John would have to have enough vacation hours saved up for us to be able to take on such an undertaking of a trip. But that is like one of our top goals. We don't have anything on the books yet in terms of any of those ones. We do have another Disney trip planned for October for my birthday. I'm turning 39 this year in October. So we have that on the books with the RV, but that's the only one that we're like concrete set up for now. Okay, so now that we've finished up the makeup, I'm just gonna go over some of the empties. What I do with these is I just give you my thoughts, feedback. It's all honest, and I will tell you whether or not I'll repurchase. So the first one is from Drunk Elephant. This is the Bouncy Bright Facial. I didn't notice anything with this one. Drunk Elephant for me it's so pricey, but a couple of the products are 100% worth it to me. I don't think that one is, and it's probably not something I'd buy again. All right, the next one that I have is the Olaplex Conditioner. And this one is a definite yes. I have repurchased this probably 15 times at this point. I ended up replacing this one with the jumbo size. I'm just gonna throw that on the bed. I ended up replacing that one with the jumbo size. That's how committed I am to that conditioner. I have very curly, coarse hair, but it's thin because of postpartum. Blessed. Conditioner has its work cut out for it when it comes to my hair, and that one really holds up. The next one I worked through, this was a jumbo bottle I worked through. It took me a while though. I could not recommend this product enough. You towel dry your hair after you wash it, saturate your hair with this spray, and then use some type of heat and tension to work it into your hair. And it basically gives like a little mini keratin blowout vibe. And when it comes to humidity and stuff like that, that one gives your hair the best chance. Humidity still gets me. It's not a miracle product. But for me, it holds the curl when I do my Shark Flex style. It holds the curl the longest and keeps humidity at bay for me. So that product I've probably repurchased 3 or 4 times now. And again, I sized up to jumbo. That's how much I liked it. I have 2 body washes to talk about. So this Native body wash, if you're looking for more of like a jelly style body wash, this one is amazing, and the watermelon scent is awesome. So definitely would recommend that, but even more so recommend this body wash right here from Method. It's in the scent Wind Down, and it's got chamomile, starflower, and blue lavender notes. This smells like lavender laundry almost, and it's such a creamy, amazing consistency. I love using this at night, and it's a plant-based cleanser, so I don't know that it's completely clean, but it's a cleaner option, and it just feels like self-care when you take a shower with this at the end of the night. So would definitely recommend this one. We've got another Drunk Elephant product. This is the F-Balm Electrolyte Water Facial Mask. This one I'm on the fence for. If I had a 20% off coupon, I would probably pick it up again. I really do think this is super hydrating. I think there are other products out there at lower price points that can accomplish the same thing, but I don't know, something about the quality of Drunk Elephant just gets me, so it's like a maybe for me. This is another maybe for me. This is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer. The texture on this moisturizer is so unique and so amazing. It's almost like a toner meets a serum meets a moisturizer. It's like a gel-based style moisturizer. The smell on it is really nice. It doesn't bug me at all. It is a strong watermelon scent, so if you don't like kind of like that artificial fragrance scent, you might not like this, but I think it just smells like fresh citrus, basically. I absolutely love that one, but it's a maybe for me because the price is pretty high. The reason I say maybe is because a lot of times Sephora does value sets with Glow Recipe products, and if it's in one of those, it's a definite yes for me. But on its own, I don't know. This one is a no for me. This one was the Ice Pro Ceramide Moisturizing Cream from Sunday Riley. I got this during one of those Ulta 50% off promotions, and I would not repurchase this. This smelled awful, and it's kind of like very thick cream that just never seems to sink in. I don't know, it almost reminded me, one time I watched this thing that said that back in the 50s, women would wait until their husband fell asleep to take off their makeup, and then they would put like a thick cold cream on their face and like just let it sit like it was a mask overnight. And that's what this reminded me of. Like if I had just like let cold cream sit on my face. Just not a love for me. The last one is a hot mess. I'm sorry. We talked about there being no aesthetics here. This one, hopefully the glare's not affecting it too much. But this one is the Vanna Cream Gentle Facial Cleanser. I got this on Amazon. It's just not a love for me. I like that Paula's Choice one I talked about at the beginning a little bit more, but it's not like a no for me either if you're looking for a gentle cleanser. And the Paula's Choice, because this one might have been cheaper than the Paula's Choice. This one has more of like a true cleanser vibe where it like foams up a little bit. I don't know, just not one that I would rush out to buy at least, but I did enjoy it. So anyway, so that wraps up all of the empties that I wanted to talk about. That answers all of the questions that you guys had. I hope you got to learn a little bit more about me, because I know on this channel I'm mostly doing like recipes and grocery hauls, so we don't get to chit chat on a personal level too much, but I am an open book, so if you ever have questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll try to do one of these videos as often as I can. And if you ended up enjoying the vibe while you're here, please feel free to check out the rest of my channel. If you need help with like menu planning or what to grab the next time you go to Costco, I have plenty of those videos on my channel. I hope I delivered whatever you needed when you clicked on that thumbnail, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye.